Evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Cabinet. Nice to see you all here. Do we have any apologies for absence tonight?
We'll have apologies from Dawn McNally and Diamond Okoye.
Thank you. Thank you. If we move on to agenda item 2, do we have any declarations of interest or notification of dispensations granted? Yes, Councillor McMullen.
Thank you. I have a declaration of interest in relation to items 15 and 17 on the agenda.
You, Councillor Hunter?
I have a declaration of interest to make for item 17.
Thank you. Any other declarations? No. Okay, thank you for that. We move on to item 3, which is minutes of the last meeting held on the 28th of July 25. Are we happy to agree those minutes as a true record? Thank you. Item 4 has been deferred with the absence of the young mayor, so we'll move on to item 5, which is North Tyneside Carbon Net Zero 2030 Action Plan update. Can I ask Councillor Sandra Graham to introduce the report?
Thank you very much. As Cabinet Member responsible for community safety and the climate emergency, I'm pleased to present this update on the North Tyneside Council Carbon Net Zero Action Plan. This updated action plan sets out our approach to achieving our council policy commitments and ambitions. I'm delighted that despite challenges, the council is succeeding in driving down carbon emissions in our borough. The 2025 update of the Climate Change Net Zero Action Plan showcases the work that has been delivered in the past year. I would recommend you look at the long list of achievements in Appendix 2 of this report, including the brilliant news that we have secured £4.3 million in external funding to make residents' homes more energy efficient. As a result of all our efforts, I'm pleased to announce the council's carbon footprint is down by 60% and the borough's is down by 49%. The broad range of work on climate change and focus on reducing emissions brings many more benefits than just reducing our carbon footprint. Our action is improving the health of residents, creating decent new jobs, growing the green industry and boosting the low carbon economy, as well as increasing energy security in North Tyneside. We continue to work very hard to assess the increasing and detailed research findings and information associated with the increase in climate change and act quickly to shape our services, as well as limiting the impact on our communities. The Council remains committed to this approach and to continue to develop this work further, creating an even greener and cleaner North Tyneside. This action plan will be updated every year and presented to Cabinet for approval to help monitor this progress. I'm therefore delighted to present this report tonight and recommend that my Cabinet colleagues agree to option 1 as included in section 1.6 of the report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Graham. Do we have any comments or questions, Councillor Graham, about the report? Yes, Councillor Early.
I think it's a really encouraging report. Made great strides towards our net zero target, but particularly encouraged by the fact that the report sets out the other benefits that come in terms of clean air, better health, improvement in cycling and walking and all those subsidiary things. But there's a lot to sit underneath the main target. And there's a clear plan going forward to develop even more measures to bring even greater benefits. So I think it's a great report.
Thank you, Councillor Early. Any other questions or comments? No, I would just like to say thank you for all the hard work. I think there's been very significant progress towards our targets, really impressive. And I'm delighted to hear about the almost £4.3 million secured from the Warm Homes funding to support our residents. It will improve health and lower energy bills going forward. So that's fantastic news all round. Well done. Is Cabinet happy to approve the recommendations on page 23, 24? Great, thank you very much. Moving on to item 6, North Tyneside Transport Strategy Annual Report. Can I ask Councillor Hannah Johnson to present the report?
Thank you, Mac. I'm pleased to present the annual report on the North Tyneside Transport Strategy. This report shows the real difference our approach is making to create a safe and active transport network suitable for all modes of transport and walking. It follows on nicely from my Cabinet colleague, Councillor Graham, describing how our approach to reducing climate change is having an impact. Through the strategy, it shows that cycling in our borough has grown by 36% in 6 years, improving people's health and well-being, reducing our carbon footprint, and being aided through new connections and revamped routes, such as our Seafront Sustainable Route, which has further transformed our stunning coastline and made us a destination for sustainable travel. We have focused on making our network safer. Families feel safer on our roads and pavements, which has led to 71% of school journeys being completed through walking, scooting, cycling, or other sustainable ways. Transport plays a pivotal role in supporting the regeneration of our town centres, improving links and bringing new infrastructure to encourage more visitors into our commercial and cultural hubs. These results are backed up by wider strategies, from improving parking and road maintenance to promoting cycling, road safety and zero-emission vehicles, all working together to make North Tyneside cleaner, greener, safer and more inclusive. I therefore invite Cabinet to note the contents of this report as set out in the recommendation at section 1.2. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do we have any comments or questions for the report? Yes.
I'm just going to ask if there has been any new initiatives to prevent motorbikes and scramblers going up the wagon and endangering people on horseback and children with their mothers and fathers.
Thank you. Do you have a response, Councillor Johnson?
Yeah, we have been working with the police and the community protection team on this. I know I've had several emails myself about it, so I know there is work kind of going on around it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? We're very happy to note the report and the progress made. Thank you very much. We could move on to agenda item 7, which is review of the council tax support for April 2026. I think Councillor McMullen's presenting this.
Thank you. As Cabinet will know, the Council prioritises support to our most vulnerable residents. That means we target support to those residents who are least well off, and as part of our strategy to reduce poverty and our council value to be good value for money and spend responsibly. That's why I'm pleased to present this report to Cabinet, which provides the outcome of the consultation exercise that Cabinet approved on the 23rd of June 2025, which ended on the 10th of August. This consultation was carried out on the proposed change to the local council tax support scheme for 2026-27 for working aged claimants. And as Cabinet will be aware, the scheme for pensioners is a national scheme and no changes are proposed. The scheme we propose in consultation will ensure that our lowest income households receive the most support for their council tax bills and would not have to pay anything. Alongside this, there will be an exceptional hardship scheme for those who may need it. In the consultation, we propose move to a balanced scheme that will make it simpler for everybody to apply for. It will be easier for people to understand whether they qualify. And for those on the scheme and receiving universal credit, it will mean less changes in the amount they receive and will be much more efficient to administer, and it will save the council money by reducing the number of bills and will lead to more administrative savings over time. The consultation was carried out over a 6-week period with the public and also the major precepting authorities, who were the Police and Crime Commissioner and the Tyne and Wear Fire Authority. We used a variety of ways to get for people to give us their views throughout the consultation period, and I'm pleased to say the majority of this were in favour of the banded scheme and the other changes that were being proposed. I would ask Cabinet to agree the recommendations as for the proposed scheme as set out in the report, so that it can be submitted to full council.
Thank you, Councillor McMullen. Are there any questions or comments in relation to this item? No? Is Cabinet happy to agree the recommendations as set out in the report? Great, thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 8, the annual complaints report, April 24 to March 25. Councillor Carl Johnson will present the report.
Thank you, Mayor. I am pleased to present the information to Cabinet that showcases our residents' views and their experiences using council services. Just as important, we make the feedback and use it to improve our services we provide. Considering the millions of individual transactions the council delivers each year, the number of complaints we receive remains low. While our aim is to get things right the first time, and this council values feedback as an essential part of our continuous improvement. I am proud that we are a council that listens and cares. Complaints are just one of the ways we engage with residents using their feedback and experience to shape services in the future. Data in the 24-25 complaints report highlights that the number of complaints received has remained consistent with previous years, and notably, the number of complaints where the authority is at fault is decreasing. Our customers promised clearly outlined what residents can expect from this council and what we are committed to ensuring that every council services upholds at this promise. Reassuringly, this year's feedback from the Local Government and Social Care Ombudsman confirms that our processes for managing complaints are robust. In cases where a fault was found, the authority promptly complied with all recommendations and implemented the necessary changes. I'm clear that we are pleased we show an ongoing commitment to the meeting residents' requirements of the Ombudsman's Code of Conduct, and whilst we remain compliant, we are not complacent and will always strive to deliver the highest standards possible. As one of the authority's lead members responsible for complaints, we're committed to learning from these interactions. We appreciate everyone who takes the time to share their experience with us. I'm therefore asked the Cabinet to approve the recommendations set out in section 1.2 of the report and approve publication of both the Council and the Local Government and Social Care Ombudsman's annual complaint reports for North Tyneside.
Thank you, Councillor Johnston. Do we have any questions, comments? Yes, Councillor Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor. Can I ask Councillor Johnston just two quick questions? And are there any noticeable trends in which complaints are being upheld? And is action being taken to address the underlying causes of these complaints? And I have another question following.
Thank you, Councillor Harrison. I think, yes, we've definitely seen a theme in delays providing a service, particularly for complaints about waste collection and the special education needs support. Environmental services continues to be one of the most visible services of the authority, carrying out over 6.5 million waste collections last year. Overall, environmental services complaints account for about 15% of the complaints received by the authority, with 30% of these complaints about household waste and recycling collections. The Special Education Needs and Disability Support Service are currently supporting 2,371 children, and delays in this area relate to delayed assessments, which are due to the lack of educational psychologists. This is something that is recognised nationally and by the Local Government Ombudsman, and the authority is proactively trying to resolve the issue through the use of local psychologists, alongside a recruitment drive to increase the resource in the service. 47% of complaints regarding SEND were upheld during 24-25.
Thank you. And did you have a second question?
Second question, thank you, Mayor. It's regarding quality monitoring. So it's what quality monitoring does the organisation carry out to check the quality of complaint responses and that the outcomes are recorded appropriately?
Hey, John. The Customer First Office are a dedicated single point of contact for complaints in the authority. And every complaint is registered through the corporate and statutory complaints process. The Housing Service carry out their own quality assurance of the complaints responses, but the Customer First Office offer a quality assurance review of all responses before dispatch. The quality assurance framework is also in place to ensure the quality of responses, as well as effective monitoring and reporting on complaint themes and activity related to senior officers and the governing body and cabinet.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Harrison and Councillor Johnston. Any further questions on that item? No? Are we happy to agree the recommendation on the report? Thank you. And we shall move on to agenda item 9, and that is the report from Audit Committee 24-25. Can I ask Councillor McMullen to introduce this, please?
Thank you. This report provides Cabinet with the details of the work performed by the Audit Committee during 2024-25. Members are recommended to consider and note the annual report, which sets out how the Audit Committee has discharged its responsibilities within its terms of reference, the outcome of its self-assessment of effectiveness against the recommended practice, and an overview of its activity it has undertaken during the year. I am pleased to introduce Ian Patterson, our Chief Internal Auditor, who will talk you through the committee's work.
Thank you, Councillor McMullen. Our independent chair of Audit Committee, Dr. Green, passes on his apologies. that he's not available to present this report tonight and has asked that I present it on his behalf. By way of context, as the authority's Chief Internal Auditor, I report functionally to Audit Committee to establish and protect internal audit's independence, and the internal audit function provides Audit Committee with independent, risk-based and objective assurance, advice, insight and foresight. This report provides Cabinet with details of the work performed by the Audit Committee during 2024-25. In what has been a challenging year for many local authorities, given the financial pressures and challenges in the changing risk landscape, the role of Audit Committee remains incredibly important. The Audit Committee remained focused upon providing independent assurance to the authority that its systems of control, risk management and governance are operating effectively. Across the year, Audit Committee has received sufficient reports and information to enable it to challenge the adequacy of these systems. And in respect of this work, there are no matters that the Audit Committee would like to bring to the attention of Cabinet. In accordance with recommended practice, the Audit Committee does complete an annual review of its own effectiveness. The self-assessment concluded that the Committee continues to operate effectively, and in the main, our arrangements comply with recommended practice. There are a small number of areas where the Committee is not fully compliant with recommended practice, as explained in the report. It's important to note that these are just recommended practice and there are no statutory requirements in these areas. Audit Committee hope that this report provides Cabinet with the comfort that it has discharged its responsibilities within its terms of reference and sufficient opportunity for Cabinet to feedback on the work of the Committee. The Chair has asked that we pass on his thanks to the Deputy Chair, the Committee members, officers and the External Auditor who have supported the Committee during the year. Thank you for your time this evening and happy to take any comments or questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ian, for that presentation. Do we have any questions or comments in relation to this report? Councillor Graham.
Just to say thank you to the Audit Committee to give us that assurance that we need and that comfort that we need that everything is done correctly. Thank you, Chair.
Indeed, and I echo that. Please pass on our thanks to all members of the committee and everyone involved in that work. Thank you. Thank you for that. So we're happy to agree those recommendations. Agreed. Thank you. Moving on to item 10 of the report, which is, of the agenda, which is the Family Friendly Subcommittee Task and Finish Group Reading Attainment. And I believe Councillor Steve Cox is going to present this report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm pleased to be here at Cabinet this evening to present this report. It explains the outcomes from the most recent Task and Finish Group study from Scrutiny regarding reading attainment. The group met on 4 occasions. Key activities included evaluating data, presentations from different teams, and school case studies. This report provides a comprehensive overview of reading attainment in North Tyneside, highlights effective initiatives, and offers actionable recommendations for further enhanced reading outcomes across the borough. The focus on reading North Tyneside schools demonstrates a strong emphasis on reading instructions guided by Department of Education, phonics guidance and the 2001 reading framework. This focus aims to promote consistent and effective reading practices, thereby reducing achievement gaps. Performance data. Overall reading attainment in North Tyneside schools is generally favourable when compared to national averages. Disadvantages should not be considered a limiting factor. Several schools with a population of a high level of deprivation achieve phonics screening of 90+. Education North Tyneside officers actively collaborate with schools to enhance reading outcomes through early interventions, effective teaching strategies and targeted support for disadvantaged pupils. North Tyneside Libraries plays a crucial role in fostering a strong reading culture across all age groups, with particular emphasis on children and young people. Their work, as outlined in the community hubs and libraries strategy, actively promotes reading and literacy from birth onwards. The libraries offers a comprehensive collection of resources. Beyond book provision, North Tyneside Libraries engage in a wide variety of activities, events and projects, a significant aspect of their work involves supporting parents and carers. The Council's adult learning team, operating within the Employment and Skills Service, delivers a comprehensive suite of courses designed to empower residents through skills, developed personal achievements and enhance their employability. The Task and Finish group received a compelling presentation from Jill Shaw, head teacher of New York Primary School, showcasing the school's exceptionally strong reading vision, culture and strategy and implementation. The school's comprehensive and evidence-based approach to reading development yielding excellent results highlights the demonstrate best practice within the authority. The school lives by the core value, come as you are, leave at your best. The Task and Finish group come up with six recommendations as listed in the attached appendix to the report, which we're pleased to see presented tonight to Cabinet this evening. The Task and Finish group commends these reports findings to the Cabinet, and on behalf of the Task and Finish group, I hope that Cabinet will find their recommendations useful. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Any questions or comments? Yes, Councillor Johnson.
I think just to thank the group for doing this piece of work. It's such an important thing, particularly for our disadvantaged children in the borough, that we make sure we get their reading age up to where it needs to be. So it's a really important piece of work. And to just sort of thank our library service as well, because I know that some of the work they already do in getting children into libraries, getting them reading, the big Orvis event that we do throughout the year as well are really important as well. And I think it's a real sort of crown in our council that we do have such a comprehensive library service across the borough as well. So yeah, thank you very much for your time and putting this together, and thank you to officers as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? No? Yes, Councillor Green.
Just to thank you to the committee, Steve. This is a really good, effective use of scrutiny to add value to our policy making. Take this back, take a good look at this, and really pleased to see you looking at adult reading, because often adult readers are needed as parents to help the kids with their reading skills. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Just to say, Chair, that obviously the committee members have done an excellent job, but it also shows a wide range of activities going on across the borough to support all age groups and various parts of the borough to improve the literacy and things. So I'm very pleased with the work done.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would just like to echo those thanks. I think it's a really important issue, really core issue for our children and young people, but also adults who are often embarrassed to admit that they don't know how to read. So I think opening up those conversations is really important, and having the support in place. So really important piece of work. Thank you. Our Cabinet happy to agree the recommendations outlined on page 224 of this report? Agreed? Thank you. Agenda item 11 is Thriving Subcommittee Task and Finish Group, Derelict Properties, and I think we've got Councillor Cox presenting this report also.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Once again, I'm pleased to be here at Cabinet this evening to present this report. It explains the outcomes from the most recent Task and Finish study group from scrutiny on derelict properties across the borough. As part of its work programme, the Thriving Subcommittee identified derelict properties as a concern across the borough and how improvements in the area can contribute towards North Tyneside's neighbourhoods being green, clean and safe. The Task and Finish group met 4 times and were presented with case studies and examples of the types of properties in the borough and some information on the different ways in which a council can deal with these properties. The Task and Finish group were also presented with different legislation from government that was used depending on the nature of the properties. The Task and Finish group have produced 7 recommendations for consideration by Cabinet, and they are listed on attachment 2, appendix 2, sorry. And the Task and Finish group commend these findings to Cabinet, and on behalf of the group, I hope that Cabinet find the recommendations very useful. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Any questions or comments on this report? Yes.
An area of concern to the business community in North Shields in particular is the derelict property in Nile Street, West Percy Street corner. There was a major fire there in November, I think, last year, and very little seems to be being done to remedy that property. Is there anything the council can do to exert pressure on whoever's stopping it from being reinstated or dealt with?
Yeah, so we are taking the appropriate action on that property in particular through plan enforcement. Sadly, it's not an overnight process. It's not as quick as we'd like it to be, but we are taking the action, and we are confident the work will get done. We will get there. But yeah, it's not a quick process.
Thank you. I'll feed that back.
This sound might help. Yes, Councillor Graham.
Another great piece of they are a blight on our communities and drag down often communities, and pleased to see that the group are looking at this and have given us some recommendations again we can add to the policy. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just add my thanks again to the group for the work they've undertaken and for the officer support and some really important recommendations brought forward to support our policy development work. Is Cabinet happy to agree the recommendations on page 248 of this report? Agreed, thank you. We move on to agenda item 12, which is the 2025-26 Performance and Financial Management Report up to the 31st of July 2025. And I think we've got Councillor Carl Johnson and Councillor McMullen present.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to introduce Performance Financial Management Report for July 25. The report gives Cabinet an overview of both service performance and financial position across the authority. Service delivery, and specifically delivery of the council plan, priorities remain on track. 2,454 affordable homes being delivered at the end of the quarter one. There's been a 61% reduction in our carbon emissions in council operations. Good progress has been made to deliver inclusive education, plus SEND initiatives, part of the DfE Safety Valve Intervention Programme. North Tyneside remains one of the safest places in the country. Antisocial behaviour has decreased 16% compared to last year, and crime in North Tyneside continues to be significantly lower than the Northumbria Force area rate. The proportion of 16 and 17-year-olds not in education, employment, or training remains low and significantly better than North East England and England comparators. Overall, persistent absence from school decreased significantly during the 24-25 academic year. As previously reported, the authority continues to experience significant challenges which impact on the overall financial forecast for the year, such as high level of children in our care, specifically reliance on external residential care, which is subject to market pressures and inflationary uplifts. There is further detail on the performance contained in the Annex 1 of the report. I'd now like to hand over to Councillor McMullen to summarise the overall financial position.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. The 2024-25 financial year was challenging in many ways, and there continues to be significant pressure into 2025-26 and into the medium term. The authority has continued to see areas of pressure across adults and children's social care. Taking the general fund revenue position first, table shown as table 1 of this report shows that there is a forecast net pressure in this year of 12.291 million. Many of the pressures in the current year are consistent with those faced in recent years, and importantly form part of the existing medium-term financial plan projects. In terms of schools, they continue to face similar challenges to the authority, and we will continue to work with our schools to address them with their deficit position. It is good to know that there's no material issues to report in respect to the housing revenue account in regards to its normal activity, and the HRA position is projected to outturn with a minor overspend of £10,000. Moving on to the investment plan, £80.8 million has been spent in the borough so far this financial year. Since full council in February 2025, 17 million of reprogramming and 5.5 million of variations have been approved as part of our outturn. And subsequent capital monitoring during 25-26, 3.3 million of additional variations are proposed relating to changes to the planned investment plan for this year. Challenge sessions are underway with senior officers to review our delivery plans. And Cabinet is asked to approve the recommendations as set out in section 1.2 of the Cabinet report.
Okay, thank you, Councillors Johnson and McMullen. Do we have any questions or comments in relation to this report? No. We're happy to move to agree the recommendations. Agreed. Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 13. And I present this agenda item. This report requests Cabinet's approval to start the recruitment process to the position of Director of Children's Service. The current Director of Children's Service, Julie Firth, has announced her retirement from the role with effect from the 31st of December 2025. With the current post holder's resignation date now official, we need to secure a permanent appointment. The job description and person specification for this role are attached to the report. Following the Officer Employment Rules of Procedure and the Authority's Constitution, once Cabinet approves the recruitment and the job details, the process will be handed over to the Appointments and Disciplinary Committee for formal recruitment and appointment. I recommend Cabinet agree to the recommendations set out in paragraph 1.2 of the report. If I could also point out there was a supplementary report you should have received, which was some papers that weren't included in the original document pack, so you do have those now. Apologies for that. Are there any questions or comments in relation to this agenda item? No, we're happy to agree the recommendations as outlined in the report. Thank you. We can move on to agenda item 14, and can I invite Councillor Stephen Phillips to present this item?
Thank you, Mayor. The Authority has a statutory duty under the Education Act 1996 to establish a Standing Advisory Council for Religious Education, or SACRA, which is responsible for overseeing religious education in schools in the borough under the Education Act 1996. Since its establishment, SACRA has operated in accordance with its constitution. Any adoption of a new or an amended constitution can only happen with the agreement of Cabinet. Following a review of the constitution by officers in consultation with the members of SACRA, it became clear that the existing constitution needed amending. The proposed replacement SACRA constitution is appended to this report for approval by Cabinet. It is recommended that Cabinet 1. Approve the North Tyneside Standing Advisory Council for Religious Education Constitution appended to this report, including the groups of persons that will have members appointed to Committee A of the Standing Advisory Council as set out in Part 3 of the Constitution. And 2. Subject to recommendation 1 being approved, authorise the Director of Children's Services to publish the Constitution as soon as practicable. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I'm switching it off. Do I have any questions or comments in relation to this item? No, we're happy to agree the recommendations as set out on page 410 of the report. Thank you. Agenda item 15, Ambition for Education update. Can I invite Councillor Stephen Phillips and Councillor McMullen to present this report?
Thank you, Mayor. Before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate our children and young people on their achievements this summer in their GCSEs and post-16 exams. I'm delighted to see that early indications are that results for both Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 5 are in line with national results. The young residents of North Tyneside have faced many challenges on the run-up to these examinations, and it is testimony to the resilience of our young people and school communities, especially our incredible teachers, pastoral support and school staff, that we can celebrate their successes. As with the national trend, disruption from the pandemic has had a great impact on results for our disadvantaged students. We will continue to focus on their individual needs and ambitions and have strategies in place to do this. North Tyneside has an education system to be proud of. It is a strong performer regionally and nationally. This reflects the hard work of head teachers and their teams, governing bodies, elected members, council staff, our partners, and of course, our fantastic children and young people. The purpose of this report is to provide the local context and key strategic challenges currently facing the education system in North Tyneside. The work already underway as part of the Strategic Education and Inclusion Review and the further work required to tackle these challenges in partnership with educational leaders. Within the recommendations, Cabinet is asked to recognise the significant work that has happened to meet the challenges in educational needs and disabilities provision, including the authority's progress since joining the Safety Valve Intervention Programme in April 2023. Cabinet is also asked to note the work that has progressed regarding the financial sustainability of schools and agree to progress the further work identified. And lastly, Cabinet is asked to note the activities and ongoing work in relation to catchment area amendments across the borough and the intention to begin engaging with schools to explore options around future capacity and demand potentially arising from local planned strategic sites. I would therefore ask that Cabinet approve all the recommendations as outlined in section 1.2 of the report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments on this item? No? I'm happy to agree the recommendations as outlined in the report. Agreed. Thank you. And I now ask Cabinet to agree the exclusion resolution as detailed in the agenda for tonight's meeting. Agreed.